Hey Seekers, this is Hayden again coming at you with another video. So I've talked a lot about creating space and doing different things that help you to connect with yourself, but I want to talk a little bit about intuition today. So what intuition is, at least from what I understand it, it's like your connection with the feedback from the universe. So whatever you're getting back, that can be understood through thoughts, emotions, your perception of what's around you. But intuition is basically a glimpse into a deeper balance or a deeper understanding of how things sort of work and how things come together. And so everybody actually has intuition. When we're kids, we have that natural intuition very easily. Like if you talk to most kids, they're very intuitive. They kind of say things the way they are. And then as time goes on, they get conditioned to be not as intuitive, to not trust so much their internal guidance, their internal direction, because we tell them this is the way it is, this is the way it is. And so they have these structures that they start to impose on themselves. And then some of those intuitions, those guidance that sometimes goes against what they've been told, sort of closes up, and they reject some of the avenues that aren't necessarily visible or palpable. Like you can't necessarily see what's going on, but they have like a sense of knowing. They have a sense of understanding certain things. Even though we've been conditioned, we've been sort of programmed to see the world in a very structured way, we can develop that, and we can start to develop that trust again with that intuition and that guidance, but also use it in context with the structures and the different things that show up outside. And so that's the difference between a kid who has this natural gift of intuition and then an adult who has developed their intuition, is they understand sort of the medium in which they're working in. It's actually a very practical tool to have for you because it can provide a lot of insight, a lot of information, and allow you to avoid a lot of different troubles and problems that could happen. Because when you trust your insight, you don't necessarily have to walk through the fire. You can sort of walk around it. You can see the fire before it happens, if that makes sense. Part of developing your intuitive abilities is really listening to yourself, sort of like what I've been mentioning on this channel, creating kind of a space for yourself to understand what thoughts are coming through, what emotions are coming through, and connecting to that. But another aspect of connecting to your intuition is to look around you and really be open to any kind of avenue of information coming in. If someone mentions something, if you keep on seeing a sign or you keep on noticing something over and over again that keeps showing up, kind of like in a dream, if somebody has like a dream that repeats itself over and over again, then that's probably an indication the dream is trying to teach you something, or something's sort of coming through, some kind of guidance is coming through in that. And it's similar with the real world. Shamans often talk about, I'm reading a book about urban shamanism, and he's talking about how shamans view the world not as dreams and reality, but as everything is a dream. That doesn't mean that reality is an illusion. It just means that dreams are real. Dreams are real, but everything is sort of processed through us. We're just vehicles for interpreting information. And so if we pick up on some of the information that's coming in, if we're open to those different channels, it might be like a thought that comes into your head, an emotion that you feel, maybe a visual you get, like some kind of image that you see in your mind. It could be a sense of knowing. There's lots of different ways that intuition can manifest, but it's being open to those. And as you tune more into this, you're going to see it showing up more and more in your life. So you might be talking to somebody and you might have like an insight, like all of a sudden, like because you're open, you're listening, and then that might be relevant to that person, or it might be relevant to how you're interacting with that person, or something like that. It comes in a variety of ways. It goes back to my last video. I was talking about the process of holding space. All spaces are trying to become integrated or become whole. And so if you listen, the space, whatever space you're in, will actually communicate with you. So if you open yourself up to that channel, whatever hasn't been spoken about, whatever hasn't been addressed, whatever questions or concerns or problems or different things or insights that might come through you if you're open and you sense it. You can feel it there, that it's something that needs to be addressed, or it's something that's important for some people in the group or for yourself or both. it can be useful on pretty much every level, on a personal level, on a group level. It's like a very practical thing, and it's not something that people teach. The truth is that everything has an intelligence. Like, everything is connected, and you can connect to that. It's like a big, massive internet that is going on all the time. You may not be able to physically see it, but it's all there. You just have to connect into that. We all have a connection to planetary internet, you could say. What it comes down to is basically everything is trying to integrate. Everything is trying to become whole. And so if you allow yourself to receive those messages, to be open to different insights, to listen to those thoughts that come through, you're going to be able to pick up on a lot more than what you might have been able to before. Your intuition isn't automatically just going to blow up overnight. It could. It's very possible if you have a realization. It's like, oh wow, like I have this connection. I understand how this works. But generally it's a process of training and realizing that, oh, like I know a lot of the answers. I know a lot of different things. I just have to allow myself, give myself permission to be able to experience those and to remember that I do have these connections to not only myself, but to the rest of the universe, to the rest of everything. I would definitely recommend if you're kind of hesitant as to developing your intuition, the first thing I would probably do would be to basically like sit down and reflect on how you feel as you're in that space. Allow an openness, and then from this space you're just gonna allow yourself to feel what comes in. And so maybe you have a question, maybe you have a direction that you're wondering about, and you can ask the question and then hold that question in your mind and just see what comes up. So you might have thoughts that come through, you might have emotions, and just holding that space and seeing what comes through and being really open to anything that comes through. Don't it could be, you could have like a pink jellyfish that shows up in your mind, and that's okay. That could be important somehow. So just kind of let those things come through. Do that for like 5 minutes and then write down what comes through for you. It's kind of like allowing your imagination to kind of run wild and maybe give you some information. Just kind of trust the process, and you know that if nothing really shows up, that's okay. It's a matter of developing that, and it takes time to develop something like your intuition. So don't worry. Doesn't mean you're not on the right track. It's just a matter of practice. So if you resonated with anything in this video, let me know by liking or commenting below. And if you'd like to see more videos by me, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It'll let you know when I'm making more videos. And as always, make time to find your truth and create space for yourself.